Now at 9, a Bourbon County, Kansas commissioner speaks about the need for a new emergency department ahead of a vote on a proposed sales tax. Plus, Missouri Southern approves a new degree program focusing on food science and nutrition. And a new memorial is installed in Mount Hope Cemetery in Webb City to honor a police officer gunned down in the line of duty more than a century ago.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Bourbon County commissioners are proposing a retail sales tax to entice medical providers to open an ER. Bourbon County's only emergency department closed last December. Since then, Commissioner Jim Harris says the county has been in negotiations with other medical providers to fill in the gap. According to Harris, providers are hesitant to make an agreement because operating an emergency department in Bourbon County is not profitable. Therefore, this retailer sales tax, if approved, would help cover operations for an emergency department. Some residents understand the need for an ER, but do not agree with more taxes.
Get the funds coming in. We are negotiating with some healthcare providers today, 24/7. So, but we got to start raising funds because we know if we're going to move forward, we have to subsidize it.
The special election will be held on May 14th. KOAM reached out to community groups and other officials for a statement, but have yet to receive one. And when we do, it'll be on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, it turned out to be a cold one for us today. Temperatures quite a bit colder than what we should be for this time of the year. You can see 43 was our high, started cold. 26 should be topping out at 61 for this time of the year, but we're going to go the other direction as we go into tomorrow afternoon. Looks okay right now. It's just cold, but we have clear skies. 35 in Pittsburgh, 35 in Joplin, 34 in Monette, 39 at Grand Lake. Chanute is sitting at 38 degrees, but clear skies. We'll see clear skies as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. So your overnight planner, we drop into the upper 20s, overnight low 29. Back to 33 by 7 a.m. Sunshine, the winds pick up tomorrow, back to 45 by 10 a.m. We also have some rain chances in the forecast. We're going to be looking at that as well here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, Berry County, Missouri authorities say a naked man was shot after breaking into a home and assaulting a woman and 2 children. It happened last Thursday in a home near Cassville. Authorities say 18-year-old Corey Hilburn forced his way into the home through a side door while naked. They say while inside, he assaulted the woman and children with his hands and hit them with a rifle. During the assault, the rifle fired and struck Hilburn. He suffered a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. The woman was also taken to the hospital. Hilburn pled not guilty to charges of first-degree assault, armed criminal action, and burglary, among other charges. The Missouri State Highway Patrol has begun its investigation into a fatal crash over the weekend near Neosho. Troopers say Christopher Dybell of Monette, Missouri, was traveling west on US 60. Dybell's 1994 Ford Ranger left the roadway to the right. He then overcorrected and overturned. Dybell was thrown from his vehicle. Authorities pronounced him dead at the scene. The Webb City Police Department today honored one of their own. George Hooper was the town's police chief back in 1918. On March 17th of that year, he got into a shootout with a suspect. Both were killed in the exchange of gunfire. Chief Hooper is buried in Mount Hope Cemetery, but his gravestone does not mention that he was killed in the line of duty. Today, they erected a new memorial dedicated to his sacrifice.
It helps to remember him and remember the sacrifice that he gave to bring our community where it is today.
They are what made the city what it is today. It's what made our community what it is today. Our Elks Lodge was in existence at that time. It was a part of the community at that time. We were established in 1903, so this is something that is part of our history.
The department worked the cemetery, Quality Memorials, and the Webb City Elks Lodge worked with all of them on the memorial. Bookworms in Parsons, Kansas got together to discuss the story of the Bloody Benders. The book, Hell's Half Acre, the untold story of the Benders, a serial killer family on the American frontier, explores the more well-known facts about the Labette County killers. And during today's discussion, residents learned about the lives of the Benders, their killings, and where they went after leaving Kansas.
Before I lived here and started researching Parsons, I always heard that they disappeared to Thayer, got on a train, and nobody knew what happened to them. But her evidence very strongly points that they made it all the way down to Texas. They spent some time around Denison and then moved west and probably ended up somewhere out in Colorado. Nobody knows for sure, but she has a lot of really good evidence.
Well, the discussion was led by an English instructor at Labette Community College. Missouri Southern students may have a new degree path starting this fall. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on the future of a food science and nutrition program.
It's a great opportunity for students in our region.
The Missouri Southern Board of Governors has approved a new undergraduate degree program in food science and nutrition. The program, which will be under the kinesiology department, is made possible through a Department of Education grant.
So it gives us an opportunity to look at what are the needs in this region based on our employer needs, and this was one that rose to the top.
The university says this degree program will help address the rising needs of local industries.
The food industry is really growing in our area, in the Joplin area, and with Northwest Arkansas, and so we saw a lot of growth in jobs in this area for our students.
The Food Science and Nutrition program will help students prepare for careers in things such as food safety, development, and marketing.
We do know that when you have high demand fields, high demand disciplines added to your curriculum, that we see a growth in enrollment. And it's usually students who otherwise wouldn't be interested because they're interested in this particular program.
And the program director says she's already seen interest from possible future students.
With 4-H and FACS clubs, they often speak to me about how their students are interested in pursuing degrees with food and food science, and so I'm excited that we'll now have a program here at Missouri Southern to meet those students' needs.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Food Science and Nutrition program still needs approval from the state. The university hopes to have the program start in the fall of 2024. Well, the Joplin Public Library offered take-home Zen Garden kits for adults today. The library provides the kits once a month. JPL uses the occasion to promote the library and let folks know it offers more than books.
That they take away that the library offers many types of different things. A lot of times I think people think of the library as just books, but we offer a lot of other programs, resources, and things like that. And so with our take-home kits, we just kind of hope that someone finds some sort of outlet for something to do.
Teens could also take home crafts and have fun painting glow rocks. Well, the Easter Bunny will soon officially be here, but he won't be here for long. In the meantime, you can catch the seasonal hopper at the North Park Mall for photos. And if you or your pet is interested in getting their picture taken with the Easter Bunny, you have one more chance to do that, and that's next Monday. Walk-ins are welcome, though reservations are recommended. Coming up, online sales begin for the first over-the-counter birth control pill in the United States. The first oral contraceptive approved for over-the-counter use with no age limit in the United States is now available for online purchase. Healthcare experts say this marks a major milestone in access to contraception in the United States. Michael Yoshida reports.
Online sales began this morning for O-Pill via the company's website as well as Amazon.com. Doctors saying they believe this is a big step and a big benefit for those living in rural areas as well as those who may not be able to travel to a pharmacy or store. For the first time in U.S. history, online orders have begun for over-the-counter birth control pills. There are no age restrictions and no prescription necessary.
I think is a win for everybody. It allows improved access to contraceptive care to women. It is also, I think, financially very doable.
Perrigo, the company behind the pill, says one-month packs will be sold with a suggested price of $19.99. Approved by the FDA last year, the company says O-Pill is 98% effective at preventing pregnancy when taken as directed at the same time every day. OBGYN Dr. Sujatha Reddy says most hormonal birth control pills contain both progestin and estrogen, which for some can carry risk of blood clots, heart attacks, affect migraine headaches, and shouldn't be used by smokers over 35. But O-Pill uses only progestin to prevent pregnancy.
There are some people who should not take the estrogen combination pills, but for them, O-pill is probably safe.
She says the list of people who shouldn't take progestin-only pills for medical reasons is very short, including those with certain conditions like breast cancer or liver disease, or if they're taking certain medications.
In general, birth control is very safe, and I think we're seeing improved access because it's been around for so long, and we know it's very safe.
Following the online launch, O-pill is expected to hit shelves later this month at major retailers and pharmacies, including Walgreens and CVS. And the company behind O-pill says that online orders, they'll be fulfilled within a day or so, and also for customer privacy, that they'll be sent in plain, unbranded boxes. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Well, free school meals help prevent childhood obesity. A study published in Pediatrics looked at schools with a universal free meal policy. They found schools that participated had a 2% decrease in childhood obesity compared to non-participating schools. Researchers say that's because school lunches tend to be more nutritious than meals eaten outside of school. Well, making sure kids come from low-income communities, making sure they stay active could save hundreds of thousands of lives and billions of dollars. A study published in JAMA Network found there are disparities in physical activity among young people in low-income communities. Fixing those disparities could avert 383,000 cases of obesity and 101,000 weight-related disease cases, potentially saving $15.6 billion in healthcare costs. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, a Pitt State infielder earns a Hitter of the Week honors after the Gorillas win 20 in a row.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a chilly one for us today. Temperatures really kind of struggled to warm up as we only got into lower 40s for afternoon highs. We do have clear skies. It's cold outside, but a nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam downtown Joplin. This is about 7th and Joplin Street. We're looking off toward the north and to the east. Let's go outside. It's 34 Nevada, 35 in Neosho, Anderson, Bella Vista sitting mid-30s, 38 Veneta, Parsons down to about 32. Here's 7th. Here's Rangeline sitting at 35. South winds are light at about 5 miles per hour. Of course, it was breezier earlier today, but the winds are also going to pick up once again for us tomorrow. Out of the southwest, gusts 30 upwards to 35. But in return, because they're out of the south instead of the north like we did see today, we warm up significant amount more than what we saw today. All right, clear skies. Not a whole bunch is going on here. Entire Central Plains look pretty good. Here's our next little wave. It's a weak upper level low. You can see how it's rotating counterclockwise around the upper level low, but it will head toward us slowly. It's going to take its time as we go through the week. Northwest flow, so a little bit cooler. We get a southerly flow over the next couple days. Rain chances will start to increase late in the day on Wednesday. Now, this low tracks to our south, so it takes most of the moisture with it, but we are going to get some rain with it, and then we'll cool down behind this system once again. Stronger storm system is going to pull out by early next week. This will really be our next shot that we could get some strong to severe thunderstorms into the region. All right, let me walk you through next few days. Cold tonight, upper 20s to near 30 because the winds have diminished. Most likely a frost by the morning hours. Quick warm up, warm into the upper 50s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, looking pretty good. 68 in Pineville, Lamar, Pittsburgh 72, Veneta, Fredonia up to about 75. Tomorrow night, not as chilly. See a little wind shift line on top of us. That's a warm front. We're going to back down lower 40s, and then we'll start to see some rain chances late in the day on Wednesday. First off, your Tuesday, 33 in the morning, 56 by noon. High temp right around 68. All right, most of Wednesday is going to be dry, but along that front, especially in our southern counties, a few scattered thunderstorms late in the day on Wednesday. Rain starts to press in Thursday night or Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Light showers kind of sticking around through the day on Thursday, and that will cool us down just a little bit as we go through the middle of the work week, or actually late in the work week. But tomorrow looks good. 68 for a high, 69 on Wednesday. Few showers, few thunderstorms by evening. Cooler 58 on Thursday, 57 on Friday, cooling down again for the weekend. And then thunderstorms roll in by early next week.
Okay, well, I'm digging the rise in temperatures, but it's not too hot just yet. We're actually having spring.
Yeah, we kind of are. And it's only March, so
that's good.
It can only get better.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, the government stepping in.
Holding big tech accountable, Meta is being investigated for drug sales as former President Trump ramps up his warnings on banning TikTok. I'm Kelly O'Grady in New York. Details ahead.
The appetite to hold big tech accountable is growing stronger. Fox Business correspondent Kelly O'Grady has the details.
Meta is reportedly under investigation for its role in the illicit sale of drugs. The concern being the company may be facilitating and profiting from the alleged activity on its platforms like Instagram and Facebook. The Wall Street Journal reporting U.S. prosecutors in Virginia have been sending subpoenas as part of a criminal grand jury probe, which is in partnership with the FDA. In response, the big tech giant revealed it's working with the State Department to crack down on this activity, telling Fox Business, quote, "The sale of illicit drugs is against our policies, and we work to find and remove this content from our services. Meta proactively cooperates with law enforcement authorities to help combat the sale and distribution of illicit drugs." But broader questions are being raised about whether Meta and other companies should be responsible for the content sellers and users post. That scrutiny is translating into legal action. 41 states plus D.C. are suing Meta over allegations regarding child safety. In other big tech news, former President Donald Trump is once again warning lawmakers against banning TikTok. Trump told Fox News banning the app only benefits Facebook, which he says is also influenced by China.
I think China controls Facebook also because they have tremendous power in that company. There's no question about that. They want to be in China.
In 2020, Trump committed to signing an executive order to ban the app, but 2 federal judges blocked any attempt. The former president also says banning TikTok is a problem because of freedom of speech issues. In New York, Kelly O'Grady, Fox Business.
The Supreme Court is hearing arguments today in a case that tests how far the federal government can go in pressuring social media companies to remove content it believes spreads misinformation. The case, known as Murphy versus Missouri, comes from efforts during the early months of the Biden administration to push social media platforms to take down posts that officials said spread falsehoods about the pandemic and the 2020 presidential election. A decision on the case is expected in June. Up next, with ice cream maker Bluebell expanding its operations into St. Louis, it's bringing a new flavor inspired by the city. St. Louis area residents can now get their ice cream fix with Bluebell. The company today officially expanded into that market. And in conjunction, it introduced a new flavor inspired by the city. It's called Gooey Butter Cake Ice Cream, which features a cream cheese swirl and butter cake pieces. The Texas-based company says it's a nod to St. Louis, which made Gooey Butter Cake famous. Interesting. Did not know that. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. The presumptive presidential candidates go full steam ahead with a push to November. Plus, more trouble in Haiti as violence between gangs intensifies and the Prime Minister prepares to step down.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. President Biden is switching to all-out campaign mode this week. He has stops planned for Arizona, Nevada, and Texas. Former President Trump spent part of the weekend in Ohio as the general election contest shifts into a higher gear. Doug Luzader has more today from Washington.
Now, up to this point, both Biden and Trump have had relatively light campaign schedules, but after last week, they are presumptive nominees now, and we may be seeing a lot more of them. It's going to be hard to keep up with Air Force One this week, and even President Biden may have some more spring in his sometimes awkward step.
Are those sneakers? Yep, They're so-called lifestyle sneakers made by Hoka.
The show Inside Edition dove into the president's new stability footwear, and he may need it this week. His itinerary takes him west to Nevada, Arizona, and Texas. Yesterday, during a St. Patrick's Day celebration at the White House, he joked about his age.
Valerie used to be 3 years younger than me. Now she's 20 years younger than me. I might note there's no woman in the Biden household as old as any man in the household.
Former President Trump, meantime, was shoring up support in Ohio, talking about tariffs on Chinese cars.
Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole... That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath.
A bloodbath for the economy, says the Trump team, but the Biden campaign accused the former president of threatening violence if he loses in November. And while Biden may be down in a number of polls, his campaign now appears to have a large fundraising advantage with more than $150 million on hand. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
Well, the U.S. Supreme Court has indefinitely blocked Texas from enforcing a law that lets state officials arrest and detain people officials think are coming into the country illegally. This administrative stay takes hold as the High Court considers emergency appeals. That would include from the Biden administration, which wants the justices to block the law until those challenges play out. Israeli forces today launched a raid on the Gaza Strip's largest hospital, saying militants had regrouped there and fired on them from inside the compound. Both Israel and Hamas have returned to the table to negotiate a potential ceasefire in Gaza, but there's tension between the U.S. and Israel over its handling of the war. The chaos comes as Israel is planning a ground assault on the southern Gaza city of Rafah, which could come at any moment. Well, as the violence in Haiti intensifies, the prime minister is promising to resign, and neighboring countries are preparing for a new migrant crisis. Fox News correspondent Brian Elenas has more from the Dominican Republic.
The situation in Haiti is getting worse. Gangs are solidifying their hold over the capital, Port-au-Prince, while the government continues to collapse. On Monday, Prime Minister Ariel Henry promised to resign, a key demand of the gang leaders. The U.S. is now spearheading the creation of a new transitional government, but it's unclear what steps can be taken to restore the rule of law.
Moving forward on a political transition and getting to elections, none of that happens if there is profound insecurity, which is what we've seen.
And the instability is now moving beyond Haiti's borders. Dominican authorities in Dajabon deported dozens of Haitian migrants on Sunday, and they're stepping up their measures to keep the illegal migrants out. Construction of this new border wall began last year. The president of the Dominican Republic says so far about 100 miles of border wall has been completed. The goal is to eventually have a border wall run along the entire border with Haiti. He says it'll change the Dominican Republic forever. But Haitians say the efforts to seal the border are having a major impact. There's simply no domestic market in Haiti right now, and without the ability to sell their goods in DR, many say they have no way to make a living.
When we arrive with our goods, misery sets in because there are no small merchants or people to buy our products.
The first U.S. rescue charter flight landed in Miami yesterday with more than 30 Americans. The State Department says it is working on more evacuation options from the capital of Port-au-Prince. In Dajabon, Dominican Republic, Brian Yenes, Fox News.
Well, a bit later, how education experts are hoping to get more kids interested in entering the field of STEM.
Well, of course, a much colder day outside for us today. Temperatures only into lower 40s for afternoon highs. Should be right around 60, 61, 62 degrees, but we do have clear skies. It looks good. The winds have diminished. We're looking at our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam, of course. Joplin, Missouri, downtown, 7th and Joplin Street, looking off toward the north and to the east. All right, mid-30s across the board. We'll drop back 29 or 30. Later on tonight, dew point will come up, humidity will come up, most likely get some patchy frost out there later on tonight. The winds will start to pick back up again for us tomorrow, but out of the southwest. So in return, that's going to warm us up. Now we have the clear skies across the entire Central Plains. Here's our next little wave. Look at the counterclockwise rotation around this upper level low. This guy's been sitting out there for a while, hanging out. Past couple days, going to hang out there for another day or two and then slowly start to push off toward the east as we go through this week. You can see here's Wednesday into Thursday. Chances for showers and thunderstorms increase. Now, it's weak. The main jets to our north, and majority of this wave passes to our south, meaning majority of the moisture will pass to our south, but close enough, we're going to get some rain in here. Another little wave on Friday. Then we look pretty good, then we start to warm up. Here's our next bigger storm system that rolls out early next week. That's going to be our next decent shot to get strong to severe thunderstorms. All right, let me take you through time. Upper 20s to 30 for you tonight. Warm up quickly. Upper 50s by noon, should get into the upper 60s. So we're going about 25 degrees warmer tomorrow, which is pretty nice. Tomorrow night, not as cold. We back down, a little bit of a warm front kind of developing on top of us, lower 40s. Here's your day plan at 33 to start, 56 by noon, high temp is 68 degrees. Now, late Wednesday, with that front kind of sitting in our southern counties, some scattered showers, maybe even a scattered thunderstorm starts to pop up. Better chances for rain Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Here's Wednesday or Thursday morning, and the better chances in our southern half of the viewing area. Periods of showers through the day on Thursday, tapering off Thursday night. Another little wave on Friday, a few showers. Behind it, we cool down again as we head into the weekend and slowly start to warm up as we get into early next week. All right, rainfall with this next system, not a lot, but still some areas are going to pick up a quarter, maybe a half an inch, especially in our southern counties. All right, 68 tomorrow, 69 on Wednesday, and then cooling down 50s by the time we get into Thursday and Friday, but clearing out just in time for the weekend. Chances for showers and thunderstorms again early next week.
All right. Well, I have no complaints. We
No,
can
it's
use the
pretty
rain.
good
We'll
overall.
take it. Yeah. I like it.
All righty.
Good job, Doug. Good job this Monday. All right. Well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. Missouri Southern today hosted Pitt State for an esports competition. Teams of 3 from each school squared off in the game Rocket League. The players were able to play on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC. The competitors say it's fun to see the sport growing.
The world of games is expanding. It's expanding a lot. So I think it's opening a lot of opportunities to people also, like even for people that love, like me, to play games and everything, to get a living out of this.
Be a team player. You know, if you're here, you know, just to flex some muscles, yeah, good look, guys, I'm good, you're not gonna make it, because, you know, you have to work with a team. You can't win a 1v4 in any game or like against any team. You can't win alone. You have to work with a team.
Pitt State walked away victorious, winning the best of 5 matches, 3-0. Well, coming up in sports, Webb City baseball goes to extra innings in its season opener. Plus, Missouri Southern pitcher Cole Gaiman continues racking up recognition. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Baseball season is here in the 4 states. This afternoon, several of our local teams play their first game since last spring. One of those being Webb City, who's coming off a state tournament appearance in 2023. And the Cardinals go across state lines for their first game. They take on Bentonville West over in Arkansas. They win it in extra innings, 11-5. Webb City scores 6 runs at the top of the 9th, highlighted by a 3 RBI double from Cohen Epler. Cards play at home against Branson tomorrow. Now, Pitt State softball is one of the hottest teams in the country. The Gorillas hold a 20-game winning streak. Their last loss nearly a month ago. That was February 23rd. Today, Pitt State infielder Hannah Burnett is named the MIAA Co-Hitter of the Week. She shares the award with Emily Duramis from Central Oklahoma. In PSU's 6 wins over the weekend, Burnett hit .600 with 12 hits, 4 RBIs, 5 runs, and 4 stolen bases. She also had an .800 slugging percentage this weekend. 3 of her 12 hits went for extra bases, and she helped the Gorillas go 6-0 in the MIAA NSIC crossover. Meanwhile, across the conference, Missouri Southern's Cole Gaiman is named the MIAA Pitcher of the Week for the second week in a row and the third time this season. The Webb City alum started in Pittsburgh on Friday afternoon, and he struck out 10 Gorillas over 7 2/3 innings to pick up the win. He allowed just 1 run and 4 hits in that outing. So far this season, Gaiman has a win-loss record of 6-0, an ERA of 1.51, and opponent batting average against him is 1.44. Fort Scott High School had both its girls and boys basketball teams make the Class 4A state tournament just a couple weeks ago, and both teams received an annual sportsmanship award from the Kansas State High School Activities Association. Now, this recognition comes from a special committee that evaluates the sportsmanship displayed by the players, coaches, cheerleaders, school cheering section, and more during state tournament play. Well, we're a week and a half away from Major League Baseball's opening day. Today, the Royals make it known to the public who will be their starting pitcher for the season opener on March 28th against the Twins. Cole Reagans will be the Royals' opening day starter. After being acquired by KC in a trade from the Rangers on June 30th, Reagans was an immediate difference maker. He was named the American League Pitcher of the Month in August when he went 5 innings plus in every one of his starts and finished the month with a 1.72 ERA. That was the best in baseball in that category. The 26-year-old left-hander had a 26-inning scoreless streak from August 18th until September 10th. He says it's an honor to be chosen to take the mound on opening day at Kauffman Stadium. That's a look at sports. We'll be back with more news after this.
Some of the most groundbreaking inventions ever created were by the hands of people who studied in STEM fields. And while those jobs are continuing to see growth, academic experts say it's critical kids today are introduced to STEM topics at an early age so they can develop more impressive inventions in the future. Fox News' Chris DeMeo has the story.
You're probably familiar with the term STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. But did you know careers in those fields are expected to grow 15% by 2031? That's according to data collected by financial technology company Smart Asset.
STEM careers have grown so immensely.
To help ensure that there's a steady pipeline of workers to fill those future positions, Brandon Sorge of Purdue University says it's critical parents and teachers get kids hooked on STEM at a young age.
Really thinking about that early opportunity as children are learning to read and reading in the disciplines of STEM.
But as kids get into middle school and high school, Sorge says
it's got to start having those experiences of seeing people doing those jobs, of meeting people in those jobs.
Increasing gender and racial diversity among workers in STEM is also important. The most recent data from the National Science Foundation reveals women made up about 35% of people working in STEM fields back in 2021. Officials say Hispanic, Asian, and Black workers are also underrepresented. But over at the wings of the North Air Museum outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, retired Air Force Lieutenant Caroline Jensen is taking action.
I love to influence young women and for them to look at me and see something about them in me.
This weekend, Jensen and other volunteers encouraged girls to explore opportunities in aviation, a STEM career. Youngsters spent time getting an up-close look at planes, lessons on historic female pilots, and more.
I just tell them to go for it. You can never have success without having failure.
Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Well, students trying to decide what to major in when they go to college may want to take a look at an analysis put together by the New York Federal Reserve. The survey lists the 16 worst-paying college majors 5 years after graduation. It found students who major in liberal arts, performing arts, and theology earned the lowest salaries during that time period, median annual income of $38,000. Leisure and hospitality and social sciences paid a few thousand more. Well, coming up, we'll see what happened during a wedding in England after a nearby cow objected to the holy matrimony. One couple getting married in the English countryside got interrupted by a cow stating its objection. Jeannie Moose reports.
You know how in the movies someone's always piping up to stop the wedding. Well, this is the bovine version of that. Just as the officiant uttered the "any objection" line.
In order to proceed, I must now ask if any person here present
Who invited the cow? The cow chimed in from the neighboring field at this English country wedding where Amy and Harry Millard tied the knot.
All of a sudden it kind of like broke the tension.
It was the most perfect timing.
Perfect because the cow refused to forever hold its peace a second time.
if any person here present knows of any lawful impediment.
You can't expect a cow to enunciate like a donkey.
I object! I object!
But even the newlyweds don't object to what the bride called one of the magical moments of the day. The officiant finally got through the objection part.
You should declare it now. Non-bovine only.
Meanwhile, the groom, a teacher, is being teased by his students.
Oh, they're just mooing.
It was a moving ceremony, destined to be milked for years.
Oh, the puns you could get out of that. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a dolphin at the Brookfield Zoo enjoying a St. Patrick's Day treat. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.